This coverage of the British Historic Rally Championship is brought to you by Autosessif.com, Skipton Ford, the Tuthill Porsche Challenge, Sherwood Engines, XS Racing and West Wales Rally Spares. The Bulldog Rally will be run over 7 stages in the North Wales Forest, mainly in the Dyfed Forest complex, and got underway with a ceremonial start in Welshpool Town Centre on the Friday evening before the rally. This gave the locals the chance to get up close to the cars without venturing into the forest and getting a bit muddy. But on the Saturday, there was a good number of spectators who made their way into the first stage to get a good close view of the action, some getting a bit closer than they expected to Simon and Alistair Crook's Ford Escort. First onto the stages though were Desi and Jeremy McBride. But right from the start it was obvious that all was not well inside the yellow Porsche, as a change to narrower tyres after a day's testing had had exactly the opposite effect from what was expected.
60. 2 right, continues for
and Desi wasn't happy.
Okay.
Yeah, cars all over the place.
Not surprisingly, as he was only 4th fastest on the first stage. This left the way clear for round 1 winners Simon Wallace and Graham Ride to dominate Duffnant with a time almost 30 seconds quicker than the next fastest crew of Graham Waite and Jill Cotton. And they in turn were 3 seconds clear of Ricky Profit and John Stanger Leeds. But of course the majority of the spectators had come to see the Category 3 runners for cars built between 1975 and 1981. And yet again they weren't disappointed by what they saw. And there's no doubt that neither Elliott nor Reynolds had left any of their pace at home in this particular morning.
Turn left 2, repeat turn left 2. 40, left 1 long. 170. Turn hairpin right.
And even though Elliott and Chris Brooks were fastest on Duffnant, it wasn't for any lack of effort on Reynolds' part.
And 5 left, don't cut. 40. 2 right and 5 left. 100. 5 left. Into tight 4.
Third quickest here were Alan Walker and Jez Rogers, with another great performance, continuing where they'd left off from the Mid-Wales stages. And then it was Will Onions and Dave Williams, showing just how slippery these stages were after heavy overnight rain in the area.
And right 7 in, okay. Into left 2 max. Into right 1 max. Into left 3 and over crest, okay.
A fantastic addition to the entry was the appearance of enigmatic Frenchman Francois Delacour, taking part as a guest driver on the opening round of the Tuthill Porsche Challenge. In Category 2, for cars built between 1968 and 1974, it was expected that there would be a 3-way battle between 2010 champions England's David Stokes and Guy Weaver, North Wales' own Rupert Lomax and David Alcock, and the Belgian crew of Stefan Stouff and Joris Irad. And it was Lomax who took the first scalp here, with a time 11 seconds quicker than Stokes. And with Stouff just 0.6 of a second slower than Stokes, it was clear that the reigning champion wouldn't have it all his own way on this event. If Desi Nutt had found the first stage unsettling, he was finding the second one even more so. It's remarkable what a difference the wrong tyres can make. But even so, you wouldn't have expected Nutt to be caught and passed by Simon Wallace's Cortina. And it's to his credit that he got out of the way just as quickly as he could, allowing Wallace's progress to be unhindered.
100.
But for a man used to being first or second fastest on the stage, you can only guess at his mood when he was in fact second slowest of the Category 1 runners on Garthainio. But all this gave Wallace a 31-second lead after just 2 stages. And another man being caught on the stage was Ricky Profit, as here he is with Graham Waite's Volvo trying to drive over the top of him. In Category 2, after his early surprise at Lomax's time, it was Stokes who was suddenly in the lead again. Lomax had gone off down a fire break, and there he was. Old King Stokes was in the lead, and a merry old soul was he. So into second came Stefan Stauff and Joris Irad. This was a much improved performance from the Belgian duo, who went over the Mid-Wales Rally quite dispirited, but they knuckled down before this event and did a lot more pre-event preparation, and this was showing in their times. And third now are Chris Brown and Liz Jordan, the ever-smiling duo, showing once again that they can mix it with the best nowadays. In Category 3, the two front runners were still pushing just as hard as they possibly could, and perhaps even harder than they really should.
Left 5 continues for 150 into crest. Oh! Well done. 60, right 6 long, tightens over crest, into left 6, nice and tidy.
And inside Reynolds' car, the pace was just as frenetic for both driver and co-driver.
Into 4 right long, locked.
And just watch this for total commitment over the crests and alongside the huge drops of the Garthino stage.
And 5 right. Into crest, brake, 4 left, square right. And 2 right. Into 5 left plus.
Next along were Will Onions and Dave Williams, with Will being encouraged every step of the way to go that little bit quicker.
Then 100, push, Max. 100 now. Left 2 into left 4, 40. Here's your 4. Left 4, Max. Well held.
And was that
Left 4,
just
Max,
a little bit
very
too
long,
quick?
Push. 200. One is Max.
No, Dave wants more.
Left 3, Max long, 100.
And there was disappointment for Alan Walker on the stage as a loss of rear brakes towards the end slowed him down just a little. Or should that be, didn't slow him down enough. And this meant that it was Tim Pearcey who benefited from Walker's problems, just as Walker had benefited from Pearcey's identical brake problem on the Mid-Wales Rally. Stages 3 and 4 were in the main Duffy complex, with the stages called Duffy 1 and Big Ray. And once again, Elliott just had the upper hand over Reynolds. And if you wonder if Reynolds follows Elliott's lines, well, maybe he does, and maybe he doesn't. But if you look here, you can see just what lines Elliott was taking, and you wouldn't want to follow them.
Brake, very tight hairpin left.
And Gow was the next stage, and Reynolds was really on it here, and may well have been quickest if it wasn't for this spin. But it didn't matter anyway, as a timing problem for Nick Elliott's car saw the whole stage scrapped.
And 4 right, brake, into 5 right plus, 2 right long.
This was particularly unfortunate for Simon Wallace and Graham Ride, who entering this stage with a massive lead, then managed to set the fastest time on it before rolling just after the flying finish. This would have put Graham Waite and Jill Cotton into the lead, but they were lucky not to joke Willis and Ride when the Volvo's brakes failed at the end of the stage. All of which meant that Ian Beveridge took an unexpected victory. But not being registered for the championship, it was Ricky Profit and John Stanger-Lees who took maximum Category 1 points on the Bulldog Rally.
Absolutely wonderful. To the demise of the fellow competitors, which is always a great shame, and but I suppose somebody has to take the prize, and I'm very lucky enough to have taken it.
It's almost as if Stokes needs some competition to bring out the best of him. And with his challenge from Stoof, we once again did see the best of Stokes, as he continued to set the fastest category times. But each time, there was only a few seconds in it. And it will be interesting to see what happens in Category 2 over the next few rounds as Stoof and Irad really get to grips with the British pace note system. Into third came Chris Brown and Liz Jordan. Theirs had been an uneventful rally, and there's not much wrong with one of them from time to time, is there? While winning the classes were Dick Slaughter and Jeff Deering in their escort, who took C3 and 5th in the category, behind the unregistered Steve Perez's Lancia. Keith McIver and David Burns in their Porsche 911 took C4, despite making rather a mess of the final Woodyard stage. And Rex Ireland and Adrian Scadding took C2 in their escort. We spoke to David Stokes at the end of the event. I mean, obviously you like winning, but obviously you relish the challenge as well.
Of course we like winning. Everybody likes winning. Once you've won, everybody loves to win. There's no denying that. But it's lovely when you've got a fight. It's much more fun than when you've got a fight.
And a good clean fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Good competitors.
Proper competitors. No arguing, no messing around. You know, and it's just lovely. It's fantastic.
The Category 3 section looked as if it was going to go Elliott's way, but neither he nor Reynolds had eased up yet.
Turn square left, don't cut. This is a don't cut. 170.
Well, that was sideways, even by Julian
right.
standards.
And to right.
And this is what it looked like from the outside. But Reynolds is quick on pedaling, and he took the fastest time here. He's only one of the day, in fact, with driving like this.
Up mid, 2 left over crest, 150 down mid, left into 1 right over small bump, 60.
Look at his rev counter. He's absolutely flat out again.
Left long into 1 right, 100, 3 right opens, and 3 right.
But on this event, even driving like that was not enough, and Reynolds and Oakey would have to settle for second place. Will Onions and Dave Williams had to settle for third, but that was pretty good after another smooth and mistake-free drive from Onions, and he's got it on tape that he actually overtook Francois Delacour on a stage. It was Tim Pearcey and Neil Shanks who took fourth after another fast and consistent run, with no last-minute nasty surprises on this event. But it was only Walker's brake failure which prevented him and Jez Rogers from taking that position. However, as the opposite thing had happened to him and Pearcey on the Mid-Wales rally, there was no need to grumble. So he didn't. And into a fine 6th position, showing that he has got used to the new car pretty quickly, came Richard Lane with Frank Richard beside him. And class winners in Category 3 were Steve Magson and Jeff Atkinson, who took D4 in their Ascona after Phil Collins' similar car lost loads of time on Pen Lynn when it stalled and wouldn't start again. Stuart Clark and Andy Ballantyne took D3 in their Pinto engine escort after another flawless performance. And finally, taking D2 was the Talbot Sunbeam of Guy Anderson and Kim Baker, which once again was running like clockwork towards the back of the field. Which only leaves us to celebrate the fantastic performance that gave Nick Elliott and Chris Brooks an outstanding victory on the 2011 Bulldog Historic Rally.
It was a case of drive as well as we can today, and if that was fast enough, that's great. If it wasn't then, and somebody beat us, then we'll be happy with that, because we enjoyed the rally a few weeks ago so much with the way we drove. It was a case of car in one piece, do our best. If our best is good enough, then that's great, and it looks like it's turned out to be that way.
This coverage of the British Historic Rally Championship is brought to you by Autosessif.com, Skipton Ford, the Tuthill Porsche Challenge, Sherwood Engines, XS Racing and West Wales Rally Spares.